Boo! Ah! Sorry, Josh. I couldn't help myself. Josh, that can is all shaken up. It's ready to rupture, and I will not clean up your mess. Ah! I just told you it was ready to rupture. Yeah, but I don't know what that word means. Well, didn't you hear the clues in what I was saying? I told you it was all shaken up and would probably make a big mess. Those clues should have let you know that rupture means explode. Yeah, well, I guess that means you're not going to help me clean this up. You're getting smarter all the time, aren't you, little brother?
Okay, so that was a silly cartoon to introduce context clues. Here's what it's going to look like in your notes. If you don't have your notebook, go ahead and go grab that. This will go in your reader's notebook. We're going to title it Context Clues, and then we've got our first word over here on the left, context clues. Those are clues that a good reader will find to learn the meaning of a word. How do you use context clues, though? First, you look for the title. That'll help you out usually. Then you look for pictures nearby. Sometimes the pictures will give you hints about what's going on if you're lost. Look at nearby words and phrases to help you find some clues about what was going to happen. Like in that video, he said, "I'm not going to help you clean up that mess." So he should have known that rupture means explode. That was a hint. Plug words into the sentence to see if they make sense. This works especially good for like our test cards. When you have a multiple choice question on a test, you can plug those in and see which ones really make sense with the story. And then you want to look for a comma hug. You might be wondering what that is, so go ahead and write this down and then you will know. Wait, what's a comma hug? A comma hug is when two commas are hugging an explanation or definition, and they can help you find the meaning. The commas hug or surround the words or phrases that explain an unknown word. There were two in this paragraph right here. First we have, let's see, give it a shape here. First we've got that top one. It says a comma hug, and then there's a comma, or two commas hugging an explanation or definition, and then it ends with a comma, so there's your comma hug. Can help you find the meaning. See how it sticks right in there and gives you a definition with two commas? The commas hug, and if you didn't know what hug means, it or surround. So you've got another comma hug right here where they're hugging or surround to tell you what hug means. Here's an example. A reading sleuth, comma, otherwise known as a text detective, comma, is someone who reads closely to understand. Those commas hug that definition of sleuth, in case you didn't know what a sleuth is. So, on your notes, you're going to add comma hug so that you know what you're looking for. And it's just when two commas hug a definition or explanation. Now, we've got this little short story here. What we are going to do is break it down to figure out what these underlined words mean. So, first thing we need to examine if we look back is our title, A Trying Journey. The second thing was pictures. There's no pictures here. So now we're looking at words and phrases, which means we need to read the story. The wagon left early this morning. With a heavy heart, I told my friends goodbye, since I would be staying here in Denver. We had been traveling for many months. It was June when we left St. Louis, and now it is October. The journey was arduous and littered with problems. Stop. So, our first word is arduous. We've got a clue here about what it means, and our title does help us too. We've got a trying journey. They've been traveling for months, and it's littered with problems. So, let's get some color over here. Journey was arduous. That's the word we're looking for. And And now we need our clues. We said the title was definitely a clue. So, a trying journey. So they've been on a journey and they're trying to get through it. We also think that littered with problems is a clue. If something's littered with problems, that means it's really challenging. They've been traveling for many months. So we know that it hasn't been just a short trip. It's not like hopping in the car and going to Six Flags. They've been traveling for months, longer than you've been in school. So over here on our notes, at the bottom, under comma hug, I drew a line sideways to show me I'm done with my notes part and now I'm doing examples. And what we're going to do is do the word here and then the clue and the meaning on this side. So for arduous, that'll look like arduous over here. Our clue is that we were littered with problems. And the meaning means it was challenging. So let's look back at our story. The journey was challenging and littered with problems. We plugged it in and it makes sense, which is good because that's what we were supposed to do for the fourth thing. So we've got arduous done. First, our wagon wheel came off. It was cracked. Fortunately, we were not far from St. Louis. I went back with my horse, picked up another wheel, and headed back to the wagon. Delayed, we set out again. Next, the weather turned on us. Remember, we've got a transition word here, so if we were summarizing, we'd know what's next. The weather turned on us. A rainstorm literally stopped us in our tracks. The mud was so thick, and our oxen could no longer pull the wagon. For 2 days we waited before we could travel again. Finally, there's that other transition word, our journey was sadly marked by illness and loss. Another family in our wagon train lost their young son. With melancholy hearts and spirits, we continued on. However, at this point, the difficult journey had stripped my desire to travel on. I'm staying in Denver. The others can move on without me. So, you've got the word melancholy down here, and I think I'm going to make that a different color. Melancholy. And right before melancholy, what happened? It says that a family lost their son. It was marked by illness and loss. So let's go ahead and show that we know that it's already a sad situation. And how's she feeling at this point? With melancholy hearts, they're continuing on. However, so here's one of those key words that's saying, but at this point, the difficult journey has stripped my desire to travel on. Think about what that means. Stripped my desire to travel on. If you're stripping off your shirt after a long, hard football practice, that means you're taking it off. So if she's been stripped of her desire to travel on, that means she's been taken off her want to travel. She doesn't want to do it anymore. So what do you think melancholy means? I want you to add the word melancholy, your clue and meaning over here to the side. Go ahead and pause the video, and when you're done, we'll keep going. Okay, now that you've got arduous and melancholy done, I want you guys to answer these questions underneath those at the bottom. There's only 8, and what you're writing is your clue and then just A, B, C, or D. You don't have to write out your whole answer. So, for this one, Kelsey was sick. Her voice was almost inaudible. We had to lean forward to hear her. Our clues over here are obviously that we had to do what? Lean forward to hear her. If we have to lean forward to even hear her, she's not going to be very loud. So let's say we can cross that out. Not going to be very loud. Very strange. That doesn't necessarily mean she's being strange, just because you have to lean forward to hear. That doesn't really make sense. So we're going to cross that out. Very soft or hard to hear. That one could make sense. I'm going to leave that one. Or very annoying. Usually when people are very annoying, they're not very hard to hear, right? So it's not D, our answer is C. So on your notes, that'll look like this. You're going to add inaudible to this side, and then way down here, you're going to add your clue. We had to lean forward. There's my dog barking, can you hear him? To here, and that means, or in your answer, it was going to be C. You don't have to write out your whole answer because you've got your clue here. I want you to do that for the next 3. You can just pause the video, and then this last set. When you're done with that, go ahead and close your notebook and move on. Don't forget you can get some extra practice in with our task cards that are on the shelf. And if all else fails with context clues, you can always use your resources. You've got thesauruses and dictionaries that you can definitely use on the test. And then if you're in our classroom and there's an iPad open, we've got plenty of internet resources to help us figure out what words mean too. So don't forget that if you can't figure it out from the context, you can figure it out from our resources.